Bowling. The handheld that lit the fuse 000500. Before handheld gaming had color, before it had cartridges, before it had franchises and flash and backlit screens, there was a different kind of magic. A small plastic machine, a tiny LCD window, and a game so simple it almost looked like a toy until you played it. This is electronic bowling, and it helped set Tiger Electronics on the path to becoming a powerhouse. It's hard to picture now, but in the mid-1980s, portable gaming wasn't guaranteed. Arcades were where the real games lived. Home consoles were growing, but they weren't in every house, and they definitely weren't in your pocket. If you wanted games on the go, you needed something different. Cheap enough to buy, tough enough to carry, and fun enough to replay. LCD handhelds were that answer, and bowling was one of the proof of concept moments that showed this market could explode. Look at it. Bold colors, cartoon athletic heroes, and that unmistakable 80s confidence. The buttons are simple: aim, curve, release, and the screen sits like a small stage in the center. Not a pixel display. Not a moving world. Just a set of pre-drawn LCD shapes, waiting to light up. And that's the secret. These games didn't animate the way modern screens do. They performed like a flipbook made of electricity. Now look closely at what you're holding. This isn't a modern screen at all. There are no pixels, no tiny grid drawing images in real time. Instead, everything you'll ever see is already baked into the display. The bowler, the ball, the pins, each one is a pre-drawn LCD segment. And the animation is really a trick. The game switches those segments on and off in sequence, so your brain connects the dots and calls it motion. That's why these handhelds feel so unique. They don't animate like consoles. They perform like a flipbook made of electricity. And the controls are just as direct. You get a couple options: simple, readable, immediate. Aim left, aim right, then decide what kind of shot you're throwing. Straight ball, curve left, curve right, and finally, release. In a few seconds, you're playing. And that instant understanding is exactly why a game like bowling was such a perfect early handheld idea. So what does bowling actually play like? It's simple, but it's the kind of simple that pulls you in. You start by lining up your shot. Left or right, just a small adjustment, because the lane is fixed, and the pins are a fixed target. Then you commit. You choose your throw and hit release, and the ball begins its roll, jumping from position to position down the lane. And that's where the tension lies. Because with LCD handhelds, everything is fast and final. You don't get a second to rethink it once the segments start stepping forward. You watch the approach, the ball closes in, and the pins either drop, or they don't. And even without modern physics or graphics, it still feels like bowling. Because it has the same rhythm: aim, release, outcome, reset. That loop is the secret sauce. The rounds are quick, the rules are obvious, and every miss feels fixable. So you don't stop at one frame, you tell yourself, one more try. And here's the part that makes bowling historically important. It's the perfect starter game for LCD hardware. Bowling doesn't need a scrolling world. It doesn't need complex enemy movement or big animations. It needs a lane, a ball, pins, and a result. A fixed layout, with just enough variation to keep you chasing a better frame. That kind of design fits early handheld electronics like a glove. Because when your screen is made of segments, you're not drawing anything on the fly. You're choosing which parts of the picture to light up, and when. And that limitation didn't just shape the game, it shaped Tiger's identity. They weren't building the most powerful hardware. They were building something accessible. A game you could understand instantly, play anywhere, and afford without thinking twice. That's how a simple sports handheld becomes a business plan. Bright packaging, quick gameplay, low cost, and replay value strong enough to make you keep coming back. Once a game like bowling proved it could sell, the door opened fast. Because the lesson was clear. You didn't need cutting-edge graphics to make a handheld people wanted. You needed a concept that was instantly recognizable, and a design that fit the screen.